5 mistakes killing your freestyle speed. Folks, I'm Mike Culliver, owner and founder of Nitro Swimming and 11-time NCAA All-American. I'm talking coach tons and tons of kids and adults around the world. Going to help you today with your freestyle. Don't forget, like and subscribe to the channel. We'll continue to send content your way. In freestyle, the number one thing, let's start with the wall. The fastest that you're ever going to be moving in the water, ever, is the moment you touch that water from a dive. Second fastest, every single time you push off. So we all know what a streamlined position is, right? Well, if you don't, it's hand over hand, 2 pancakes, lock it down, and it's squeezing behind those ears as tight as you can. But a misnomer is a lot of folks think streamline is just from here up. Streamline is also your body line, your body position, legs together, point your toes. So streamline push off only. Let's see what happens here. Watch what happens when I don't streamline and I push off, kind of lazy off the wall. Watch. Let's see how far I can go. I pretty much stopped after a little after 3 lines. So I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna push off a little harder, point my toes, legs together, streamline tighter, no kicking. Let's see what happens. Remember, I'm gonna push off harder, I'm gonna squeeze tighter, legs together, point my toes. Let's see what happens. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Past the 4th line. That is 33%, right? 3 to 4. 33% more distance just on a push-off with a streamline and a harder push-off. That's the first thing, is that push-off. Same thing when you dive. That's the faster you're moving. So when I push off the wall, if I want to go fast, I don't want to engage right away. Take advantage of that speed you have off the wall. So when do I take that first stroke? I like to think of it as the moment just before I begin to slow down. The moment just before you begin to slow down, because the water's always working against you, right? Resistance, resistance, resistance. I'm gonna do as best I can to say, water, go mess with somebody else. Grab somebody that's doing this, lift their head too soon. So now, the second part of this is gonna be the first 3 strokes I take. My first 3 strokes are the most important strokes. So many people will push off a wall in swimming, and the first thing they do is they'll lift their heads up and break the surface of the water and go at an angle like from here to that. Watch. And their heads are up, their head's looking forward. I want to take the top of my head towards that wall. In fact, when I'm streamlined, I want that first stroke to be taken, I still want to think streamlined. Even though I've taken a stroke, so many people just open up right then and they get lazy. Folks, the water is unforgiving. It's never going to get tired of trying to find ways to slow you down. You've got to work and work and work at making habits of taking that first stroke and think, hey, water, go slow somebody else down, not me today. So when I'm gonna push off the wall and I take those first 3 strokes, they are critical. But watch me still maintain a streamlined position with the one arm after I take the first stroke. And then top of my head going that way for 3 strokes. Folks, 3 strokes, I got almost halfway across the pool just now. Those first 3 strokes are critical. That streamline is critical. We'll take a break in a second, but don't forget, like and subscribe to this channel. Now, continuing and improving your freestyle and getting faster, body position. Every action has equal opposite reaction. If I'm overreaching here, or in swim terms, if something zigs, something's gonna zag. If something zigs here, something's gonna zag. If my head's moving around, if I'm moving in this type of movement in the water, is that the most efficient way possible? No, it's not. You wanna be straight, tall and long and be sliding through that water from fingertips to toenails. That's how tall and straight you've got to be. So, body position. It does involve engaging your core. It does. So, if I'm going to work freestyle, and I'm going to make sure that I'm, like my catch right here, a high elbow catch, and I'm going to make sure I'm moving my body forward as opposed to moving my arm backwards, I'm going to engage hand, forearm, upper arm. As I get that catch, I want to use right there my back muscles. Oh my goodness. If I can do that in freestyle and have a straight body position, watch what it looks like. I'm not even going to push off the wall so you can get a better look at this. Watch. Straight body line, engaging all three parts. Watch again. So now, I'm actually using my back muscles to help me in freestyle. So freestyle is not just arms and legs. It's a complete body stroke. That is key. Next thing is breathing and breathing strategies. So if I'm doing a short race, I gotta plan ahead of time what I'm doing before I actually get into the race. I'm not gonna decide as I'm swimming, oh, maybe I should breathe here or not. I'm gonna have a strategy and a plan beforehand. So if I'm doing a short race like a 50 freestyle, right? Either a 53 long course one way or a 53 short course, 25 yards, 2 lengths of the pool, I'm still gonna have to decide and determine what's my plan, right? What's my plan? For a 50, not a lot of air. Probably 1 breath down, 1 breath back, depending on your level. Some people now do 50s, no breath. They're not breathing at all for an entire 50. And it's just ripping and going. That's how they swim it. For 100 free, you got to breathe a little bit more. For a 200 freestyle, my favorite swimmer right now watching 200 freestyle, I love watching Molly O'Callahan out of Australia. When she dives in the water, by the way, her underwaters are phenomenal. But Molly O'Callahan will take the first 150 of a 200. She's going to breathe every stroke, every time on the left side. That's her favorite side. She does that for a whole 150. Then she comes off that third turn at the 150 meter mark. She comes off that last turn and she just fires up these underwaters. She starts over kicking and she breathes every 4 for the last 50. It's incredible to watch because most of the time it's the opposite. They don't breathe enough in the beginning. Then by the end of the race, oh my gosh, I'm out of breath, and they're breathing all the time. She does the opposite. She breathes a lot and she's controlled. It's controlled breathing. It's a controlled speed. Her first 150, breathe. Last 50, heck with you guys, I'm going every 4. She's gonna go breath, boom, 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 breath, boom, 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 breath. And she gets that kick fired up and she comes out of nowhere. Her last 50, her split is always one of the fastest in the heats when she comes off that third wall. So that's Molly O'Callahan. Don't forget, folks, if you like this content, like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll keep on making sure you get it. So breathing wise, strategy wise, longer race, I am breathing all the time. In fact, I like to breathe every single time on my favorite side, depending which way I'm going. So if I'm going one way direction, every time my right hand touches the water, I'm gonna take a breath on my left side. However, I want my breath done, completed before my catch. Watch what I mean. I'm not gonna push off the wall so you can see a better picture of this right here. Watch. It's a subtle movement, but watch again. I'll have my breath completed before my catch. The breath will be, I'm reaching and rolling, put the eye back down, and then you're gonna see the catch. Watch. Most of the top level freestylers in today are doing that. It's an early breath, it's a quick breath, and they are done before the catch. So breathing strategy wise, that's gonna happen. The last part of a race, I think, what affects most people with freestyles is the fatigue factor. When you get fatigued, you just can't help it. The technique starts to suffer. late in a basketball game. It's hard for those guys to be shooting the free throws when they're a little bit tired, right? Late in a football game, mistakes. Overtime hockey, that's when it usually there's a mistake made because you're just fatigued, folks. That's part of being human, right? And an animal. So when we're talking about the end of a race, it's real easy at that point to kind of let your stroke just kind of forget what you should be doing. That's why it's so much more critical to be practicing it correctly in practice when you're tired. Whatever you do when you're tired, whatever you do when you're fatigued, however you do it is how you're going to execute it when you're tired or fatigued in an actual race. So at the end of those practices, when you start feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm just tired, I just want to get there. Get there correctly. Get there correctly with the right form, the long body position, elongated, the water slowing you down less. You got to be thinking efficiency, technique, especially when you're tired. Folks, you do those things, your freestyle is going to go to a whole nother level. Again, like and subscribe. I'll keep making this content for you. Hope you have enjoyed this and get better as a swimmer. We'll see you soon.